Hey everybody, this is Matt, your Game Master. Welcome to the first episode of We've Got Weaverdice as we start up our Las Vegas campaign. Please be sure to check out the teaser before this. It's basically a prologue. And now let me introduce you real quick to our players. We've got Scott playing Billy, Daniel playing Chad, and Michael playing Rusty. If you found this podcast through the ether, I'll just tell you that Weaverdice is a tabletop RPG based on the parahumans world depicted in the web serial novels Worm and Ward. These books were written by, and the game was created by, John McRae, aka Wildbow. Any deficiencies in the following show are entirely attributable to me and not Wildbow's excellent game. This is not only my first time running a Weaverdice campaign, but it's my first time being a game master for any kind of tabletop RPG. So we're all going to figure this stuff out together. The plan is to roll out the rules over time. So this episode is going to be mostly focused on establishing the characters and the setting, and you're going to notice that we don't actually roll dice a whole lot. I don't think y'all would really enjoy it if the first hour and a half of this episode were just us talking through a detailed description of the game rules. In that spirit, without further ado, thanks for joining me, Matt, Scott, Daniel, and Michael on this wacky adventure. It's been a month since Leviathan destroyed Newfoundland, killing 500,000 people and prompting a widespread panic and reallocation of Protectorate resources. This shock to the system has created a number of openings for opportunistic minds. The Vegas Protectorate team has lost a number of their most important thinkers and strangers. New international players with murky pasts have arrived in the city and are showing up at the casinos. And most importantly for you three, a key Vegas crime lord called Pit Boss, head of the High Rollers, has died. Now we join Rusty. Rusty, you're playing pool with your friend Skip at the 8 Ball, which is the pool hall run by the High Rollers, your employer, and the most powerful criminal organization in Las Vegas. On the TV in the background is a news report on some new tinker who showed up in town recently. It's not of much interest to you, though. Why don't you describe Rusty's appearance to us?
All right. Rusty is wearing a blue jeans, some cowboy boots, a brown leather duster, a cowboy hat, black cowboy hat, and he's got a cigarette in his mouth. He's kind of middle-aged, around mid-30s, kind of age.
Okay.
And he's pretty quiet while he's playing pool. He's a pretty low-key guy.
All right, and I imagine not much conversation with Skip, just taking it easy.
Yep, we don't need words.
All right, down the stairs at the back of the pool hall.
Also, I have a border collie at my feet.
Okay,
who's sitting patiently, not excited like most border collies, but acting in a mannerly way.
Well behaved border collie.
Yes.
Okay. So down the stairs at the back of the pool hall comes a cape that you recognize. He has slick back blonde hair, pale blue and pale yellow color scheme to his lightweight bodysuit, and his mask is a strip of blue cloth across his eyes like a Ninja Turtle. You know each other. You've worked together a little bit. You kind of have a sense of his powers, something to do with teleportation. You've seen it before, but you're sure it has a twist that you're not fully understanding. And his name is Lightfinger, and Lightfinger approaches you and says, "Hey Tex, boss wants to see you."
I tip my hat as he approaches, and I go, "Lightfinger, how's it going?"
It's going pretty good, man. We're just touching base with everybody. And Tex, Rusty, you're aware that the boss is dead, and there is no new boss yet. So you're a bit confused to hear him say the boss wants to see you. So what do you do?
Well, Lightfinger, best as I can recall, we don't have a boss.
Oh, yeah, man. Things have been moving real quickly lately, and it would just do me a favor and come upstairs. I think you and I both know where this is going.
Well, I suppose we both do. Well, Skip, if you'll excuse me for a moment, it seems I have some business to attend.
So the two of you head upstairs. He follows you up the stairs, and you're now in the office above the 8-Ball, which is a lavishly furnished, dimly lit office with rich mahogany and leather upholstery. Waiting for you is a trio of capes, and as you recognize them, the hair on the back of your neck stands on end, because in the center is Snake Eyes, who you more or less expected to see. He is dressed in a suit with prominent lapels that evoke the image of a cobra with its hood raised. His irises are black behind a scaled eye mask, making it look like he has huge pupils. And to Snake Eyes' left is Flicker, the High Roller's top hitman, a assassin, widely known within the gang. And to his right is Rapture, their most skilled torturer. And you realize Lightfinger is in the doorway behind you. Snake Eyes greets you. Tex, thanks for coming. How have you been, my friend?
I tip my hat to them all. Well, Mr. Snake Eyes, I've been doing just fine. How about yourself?
Oh, been busy lately. I'm just touching base with everybody in the organization, just making sure we're all on the same page here. Just a prudent thing to do after a transfer of leadership, wouldn't you say?
Well, Mr. Snake Eyes, I think I know where you're going with this, but let me just assure you, you've got nothing to worry about from me. You know I ain't got the head for the bookkeeping and the scheming and the planning that goes on in a leadership type position, and I'm happy just where I'm at.
I'm very relieved to hear that. Pit Boss was a fantastic leader, wasn't he? I mean, that was basically his power, right? He just always knew the right thing to do to keep things together. Or maybe you didn't know that. His power was to keep things contained. That's why the casinos would pay him to design vaults. That's why anybody he brought into the organization he could keep here. He always knew just what to say, just what to offer.
Well, I don't know anything about all that, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, things will be different under me, Tex. I don't have Pit Boss's abilities. I do want to keep you here, but I need to know that I can rely on you, so I have a job for you. Are you familiar with the protection racket we run for the pawn shops along 5th Street?
Well, as you know perfectly well, Mr. Snake Eyes, I'm a large part of that protection racket we run for the pawn shops.
Well, that's good to hear. I am not happy with the agreement we've negotiated with them. They're not paying us nearly enough, not with the new paradigm. I want you to go and do the shakedown yourself, and I want 5 times the normal take.
Well, Mr. Snake Eyes, with all due respect, I negotiated those agreements myself, and that just wouldn't feel right to go back on the agreement I made with those folks.
I see. That's understandable. Frankly, Tex, I expected as much of you. You served Pit Boss very loyally. I know I can trust you. I'll just have to find a test for which you're better suited. Come now, join us. Stay in here. We've got some meetings lined up, and I want you standing by me.
Well, I don't know how much I can contribute to the meetings besides my rugged good looks, but I'm happy to attend to your request, sir.
And Flicker kind of laughs at that, and Rapture just continues to stare off into the distance, and Snake Eyes just chuckles in a polite way that suggests that he finds no humor at all in it, and you join them.
Excellent.
And so you remain with them, and then we move over. The camera zooms out of the building, and we move over to an upscale apartment with a young man who is probably operating some kind of machinery. Chad, you have been hustling around Vegas for 2 weeks. You've been trying to set something up, some kind of meeting. You've been trying to make connections to people to accomplish your goal. And this evening, you open your email and you learn from a CD contact that they've finally secured for you an appointment with the new leader of the High Rollers. But you're not sure who it's going to be. You don't know anything. You're so new in town. The message just says to show up at the 8 Ball and to ask for Mr. S. So can you give us a sense of what you're doing, how you're preparing for this meeting? What's your goal for this meeting?
Sure. So I'm just diving into my work. I've got my robes to the side, dark gray, just kind of hanging out. I'm tinkering a little bit with a box, and my trusty cylinder is not trying to murder me at the moment, but it's floating off over about 3 feet behind me.
Okay. Can you describe this cylinder a little bit?
It's largely featureless, a little bit shiny. Looks kind of like if the obelisk from 2001 was just a cylinder. But currently it's silent. It's not always silent. But I'm feeling good about this meeting. I'm ready to finally bring down the system.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Have you made anything? Have you tinkered anything in preparation to offer at this meeting as either a token or a gift or something to trade? What's your mentality here?
Well, there's a couple strategies I have in mind. The first strategy is to just give them something useful, and that is a kind of short-range scanning device that could let someone know if anything dangerous is around them in about a 10-foot radius. That's kind of maybe tipping my hand a little bit too much about what my abilities are, but it's, utilitarian, functional. Okay. Probably the more useful item is a floating assistant orb, which can query the internet for you for any question you might have. And I feel this actually probably works better towards the overarching goal of bringing down the system.
Okay, and just to be clear, Chad believes that these two items are extremely impressive and worthwhile tinkering.
Yes, they're probably the best pieces of tinkering that anyone my age could make. In fact, anyone 10 years older than me could make.
And it's okay for me to jump in, even though I'm not in this.
Of course.
Am I to understand that you've basically just reinvented Siri?
I don't know what Siri is, but perhaps.
Okay. Yeah, just checking.
But it doesn't occur to Chad that there's anything amiss with these things.
Yes.
Okay. So in the email, you've been told, go to the 8 Ball. So that the sun is setting. So I imagine lacking much else to do, you're going to go to this meeting, correct?
Yes, of course.
All right. Do you take your sleek luxury sedan to the meeting? And
of course. And yes. I'm of course wearing my heavy robes.
And what is
define these heavy robes?
Well, they're kind of dark gray and featureless. The only probably noticeable thing about them is the flat mask. It's a kind of aluminum disc with 2 holes in it. So it's can't really get a read on me when I'm wearing this mask.
But they're not like. They're like wizard's robes or something. They're not like a thing a person would normally wear, I guess.
No, it's like it's hooded and it's like dark gray and it looks like you can't really figure out what I'm up to. It's really quite sneaky.
Clearly a cape costume. Clearly, it's
yes.
And it's a silvered aluminum mask.
Yes.
Okay. And you hear from behind you as you head for the door. Shall I be joining you, sir?
Oh, well. Of course, but if you could perhaps keep out of sight, that would help a lot.
Way ahead of you, sir. He's already started phasing into invisible state.
Whoa.
All right, just kind of hang back about 20 feet or so and be ready for the signal.
Affirmative, sir. He sighs. and he and you open the door, and I assume I assume you figured this out where you can get him in your car even while he's invisible, and there's no weirdness. We're not gonna dwell on that. So you drive to the 8-Ball. You open the door, and obviously you suspiciously hold the door open behind you for an extra 3 seconds. For no reason.
Yeah, no reason.
Yeah.
Just feeling the wind.
And I guess you're carrying these items in a briefcase.
Yes.
So inside you see a couple of guys playing pool and drinking. They don't appear to be capes. Another guy playing pool alone with a border collie under the pool table. And there's a bartender behind the bar. Sitting at the bar are two capes, obviously two capes. One in a canary yellow suit with a smiley face mask. And as soon as you see him, it occurs to you that you desperately don't want to talk to him. You immediately feel like he's the most annoying person in the universe.
All right.
Roll a d6.
All right, d6. Rolling 4.
And because you have a plus in that category anyway, in the wits category, it occurs to you that you're probably being influenced by a stranger effect, rather than you just not noticing this and thinking he's annoying.
Can you explain what that means? I've never played this game before.
He's never played this game before. So instead of just being affected by the stranger effect and not realizing it and perhaps reacting to it, Daniel's character Chat has realized that it's a stranger effect and thus can moderate his response to what he's feeling.
Okay, so wits is a stat that allows you to detect.
Yeah, wits is basically what you roll to notice things or to have things occur to you. And the way I'm going to do this, pretty much anytime you're noticing something powers related, regardless of whether it's mental or not, I'm going to make you roll wits for that.
Clear.
And then at the other guy at the bar is a lithe young man in a pale blue and yellow outfit sipping a beer. What do you do?
Well, don't really want to screw with the stranger guy, because in my experience, strangers are pretty much the worst. So I guess I'll go up to the bar and order a nice PBR while I wait.
And the bartender serves it, and he's like, "You looking for somebody, champ?"
And loudly, I say, "Yes, I was told to meet Mr. S here."
And the guy sitting on the other side of you in the yellow and blue is like, you're the, come on, man. Upstairs. Let's go upstairs. He's waiting for you.
All right, but I'd like my PBR first, please.
Oh.
We only serve real beer here.
Well, do you have a triple IPA?
Okay, that was my voice. That can't count.
You know what? Just bring the beer. He's pretty laid back, man. So he serves the beer, and you're now holding a tall, cold glass of PBR in your hand, sticking out from your black, scary-looking cloak.
All right, excellent.
And I presume you go upstairs with Lightfinger.
Yeah.
Whose name you don't know.
Yeah.
So now you're upstairs in the office, plush leather, rich hardwoods, etc. And you actually appreciate the style of it, given your background.
Of course, it's very tasteful.
Yes, you would know.
Yes.
And you see 4 capes. You don't recognize them, but I'm not going to describe them again because they're the 4 capes we just talked about.
All right.
And the middle one stands up with his large black eyes behind his scaled mask, and he says, "Snake eyes. And who are you, young man?"
I am metric. And I kind of strike a pose, but it's kind of hard to see because my robes are so heavy.
Okay. Yeah, all we really see is the glass of beer and the briefcase sort of awkwardly against your legs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, metric, I hear you have something to offer us.
I do. But first, a question.
Fire away.
How much money did you spend on college?
I'm not sure where this is going.
That's quite all right, but I assure you it's relevant to our business interests.
Let's see. Based on my age, I probably was in school in. let's assume
Is
that
he saying this?
Let's assume.
That's
let's
a
assume.
weird way to answer the question.
Let's assume that Snake Eyes knows how much he spent on college, and that you're not going to make me look up what people were paying for college in 1985.
What year is this right now? Just
This
to
is
refresh
2005.
everyone's memory. Gotcha.
So actually, he was only in college recently. This is quite a digression. Let's just say he says
$30,000.
probably about 30 grand. I really don't see where this is going. Like the other capes around him are sort of like getting restless and visibly irritated that you're subjecting who is now basically their boss to this.
Well, how much of that money do you think could be yours?
He like looks over your shoulder at Lightfinger, like, and Lightfinger shrugs.
All right, I whip out my sphere and I throw it into the room,
Okay.
not realizing that this is probably going to make them all like think I'm attacking them, but I do it anyway.
Everyone like starts their feet, but luckily you're not killed.
I was just gonna say I kind of raised my. I've got a double-barreled sawed-off shotgun that has been raised slightly.
So as everyone kind of reacts, I say to the sphere, "How much does college cost nowadays?"
And then what happens?
Do I need to roll for technology working?
No, we'll assume that your technology works correctly this time,
All right.
since you made it for one purpose, literally.
Right. It responds about $35,000 per year.
Okay.
And then I like pose as if that was supposed to be really impressive.
Okay. Is this a joke?
Do you not understand my technology?
So Snake Eyes visibly masters himself and then says, "This isn't really worth a whole lot to us, kid. Frankly, I'm a little insulted. This meeting is barely even worth my time."
You can't imagine any situation in which you have a question that you need answered, and you could just ask that question, and you would immediately know the answer.
I'm pretty sure that we have other tinkers who could do that if I cared. Look, shut up a second. We've got something that needs doing. We do. This afternoon. A little errand. Your expertise, as far as I understand it, might actually come in handy. I thought you would be offering us something more along those lines, frankly. So, would you mind hanging around for a bit and accompanying some of our people to retrieve an item that's been misplaced?
I sigh visibly. I guess so. Even if you don't appreciate my vision.
I'm sure someone will someday. For now...
I can't believe that got you a job.
For now, why don't you wait?
Look, Snake Eyes is new. Okay, he's new. He's new. Give him a break.
He's testing out his sea legs as a. For now, why don't you wait downstairs? So this is the end of your scene. Unless you wanted to do anything else.
No, I bring the PBR up to my mask and then kind of realize that it's impossible for me to drink with my mask, and then kind of awkwardly walk downstairs.
Okay.
Maybe you could Google how to drink with a mask on.
Oh, it's sealed. I can't really even move it.
So now the camera zips out of the building again, and we are now on one of the side streets near one of the more populated areas of Las Vegas, but not in it. In a place where you might expect a drunken couple or individual to be stumbling on the way back to their cheap Airbnb, or perhaps just lost. And Billy, you.
That's me.
That's right. You and your two friends. What are your friends' names?
Justin and Eric, who I normally just call E.
Okay, the three of you are on the prowl tonight. You're out. The sun has set, just barely set. This is the time to get while the getting's good. You're prowling the side streets, and business has been pretty good lately. The Protectorate can't really patrol the area properly because of all the deaths in their ranks. Your particular approach tends to mean that let's just say robberies aren't even getting reported. So what are you doing at this moment?
I am sitting behind a dumpster with my two guys crouched, and we're like spotting and looking for passerbyers that would make a good target.
Okay, all right. So you're there's not a lot of people coming down this street, but you see a couple. There's a couple, but they don't seem drunk. So I imagine you probably passed them by. But then next, walking along in a very stylish suit, coming your way, wearing like you can even tell because your senses have been honed for this task. You can tell he's wearing a really nice watch. You can tell by the cut of his suit that he probably has a wad of cash in his pocket. Based on experience, you're guessing that this is a good mark. So what are you gonna do?
Christmas in December, boys.
So Justin and E, they like come out from cover, and I guess they move to start flanking the guy.
Yeah, like this is like pretty heavily rehearsed. Like I don't even have to give out specific orders. It's just like they know what to do and I know what to do.
Okay. So they approach him, and he kind of like does that thing where he gives them the once over and then slows down, and then as they are like really close to him, he obviously realizes what's happening, but you notice that he doesn't like begin to cower. He just stands the same way he was standing before, and says, "Oh, this is a mistake, gentlemen. How do you proceed?"
Looks like we got a brave one, guys. E, show them what we do to the brave ones.
Okay, so E follows your order and takes a swing at the guy's jaw, because there's no subtlety here, and so the guy like actually turns with the hit as it touches him, such that it just grazes him, and he spins back around and elbows E in the jaw, such that E staggers backward without actually being felled. He takes the hit pretty well. How do you react to this, having seen this happen?
He sighs and shakes his head and then motions to Justin to go up on the guy.
Okay, the guy says, "Really?" And Justin like tries to grab him, and the guy's like just slips effortlessly out of his attempt to grab, and then lunges forward and headbutts him in the face, and he staggers back and falls on his ass. But is also neither of your compatriots have been like crushingly disabled. They're both just like smarting and like, how did that happen?
Fine, I'll do it myself.
Okay. So
can I do my powery things now, or are we saving those?
So let's if you want to do that, try that now.
Yeah, I want to do my breaker thing.
Okay, so you start to do that, and before hardly anything happens that anyone would notice, he kicks a trash can that's next to him. The lid flies up, he grabs it, and he throws it like a frisbee, and it hits you in the arm, which distracts you and disrupts your transition, because if you'll remember, that takes a full turn of combat remaining stationary.
I do remember that.
Yes. And now it's basically his turn, and
oh fuck.
And he, in one hand appears a baton, and in the other hand appears a switchblade, and he approaches you actually, are you going to try to fight or flee?
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here.
Okay, and as you back up, he says, "I'm sorry, gentlemen, but this undertaking is not something that I can overlook. You youngsters are poaching in the king's forests, as it were. I can't just let you walk away."
This is America. There's no king.
And as he basically like kicks a piece of like broken broom handle off of the ground and does a ridiculous piece of acrobatic footwork and kicks it so that it hits you again, just in case you were thinking about transforming. It doesn't even matter that it doesn't hit you very hard. It's just he's going to keep pelting you with things. You get the impression. And so yeah, so how do you guys react to the information that you're not going to be allowed to escape easily?
Not well. I guess
Okay.
I don't know. Are my dudes like still on the ground? What are they doing?
They're
dudes doing?
they're standing up, and the guy says, "All right, look, there's no need to get our lapels dusted over this. You can just come with me, and we'll talk to some people and sort all this out. Does that appeal to you at all?"
He kind of gets this glazed over look on his face as he's trying to process this stuff. And,
Okay.
And there's like a long pause here.
So you actually hear a car coming down the street, and he says, just in time. And as you and your two guys are standing like indecisively, this large black SUV like pulls to a slow stop in front of you, and out get two more capes. One of them is wearing a black and white outfit, and the other is wearing shorts and shirt sleeves with an orange mask with a black X over it. And now that you've seen these three capes, the first guy again says, "I really suggest you just get in the car and come with us."
Okay, so Billy yells distraction really loud.
Okay.
And then tries to run away again.
Okay.
Thinking that was an actual distraction.
Okay, so the let's see. So the one in the shorts and shirt sleeves chases after you, and it doesn't appear to be like he's not like a speedster, but he's pretty quick on his feet, and you're not that far away from him. So he tags you with his hand on like your ankle because he like lunged down, and he was highly successful. So the next time your ankle hits the ground, your whole foot like sticks to the ground, and you just sort of like slap forward against the ground forcefully, face first, because your foot has stuck to the ground perfectly. So that's where you are, and Justin and he didn't actually move.
No, because they're dumb.
So I think what's going to happen now is that the two newcomers pick you up by your arms, and the other two guys are just completely cowed. Justin and he are just completely cowed, and they all get in you're all put in the back of the SUV, and the SUV drives off.
As I'm dragged away, I look at my two minions with like this look of serious disappointment on my face, and
Okay.
they're like, they look a little scared. Like there's going to be consequences for their perceived fuck up, and
Okay.
they seem genuinely concerned about it.
Okay. And I guess maybe you're not smart enough to understand that you may be about to die, but before the SUV gets far, a motorcycle comes down the street and cuts it off, and a woman is riding the motorcycle. She's wearing she's wearing motorcycle leathers with like a red chalice stitched on the back of her motorcycle jacket, and she takes off her motorcycle helmet, and then underneath that she's wearing like a uniform blood red face mask, and she looks into the cab, and then she goes, "Oh, it's just you guys, really? and she like looks in the back and sees like you and your bloodied friends and like blood coming out of your noses, and it's like, God, really taking down some muggers? What are you guys, heroes now? The first guy, the guy in the suit goes, mind your business, Grail, and we'll mind ours. And the woman, who apparently is named Grail, says, hey, I sense something going on over here. I came to check it out. I wasn't following you. And the first guy goes, this is our territory. I don't care what you sensed. You stay off the strip, or we're going to have problems. And then she goes, the strip is High Roller's territory? Since when? And when did you grow a spine? You want to step to the loose cannons? You call a real meeting, and we'll talk about it. And before you can respond to that, she slams her motorcycle helmet back on, and she peels out. So now, unless you have anything else you want to say, you're taken to the 8-ball. Let's skip forward. They've brought you up. They've actually taken Justin and Eric out back somewhere, and they've taken you up to the office, and now you walked by a guy in a black cloak on the way in, and now you're facing the 4 capes previously described in the office, and the leader, who doesn't identify himself, says, well, what do you have to say for yourself, young man?
Look, this was just like a huge misunderstanding. We were just minding our own business, going to gamble, maybe get some ladies afterwards, and this punk of yours just attacked us.
The guy just like shakes his head like he's so disappointed. All right, we're going to have to decide what to do with you. This is a very difficult position that you've put me in. I am trying to build something here, and it would be a shame, and he looks around the room at his other fellow capes as if he's kind of trying to pitch them something, to waste a cape new on the scene to dispose of a potential asset. Young man, you do seem enterprising, and I can believe that you made a mistake and that you didn't understand what you were getting into. This may be a mistake, but I really, really hope for your sake that it isn't. I have an errand that needs to be done this evening. If you will assist in the completion of this errand, can I assume that I can rely on you in the future and that I won't have to worry about you causing me any problems?
Where are my minions at?
I'm sure that, you know what, actually, you don't need them right now. This is about you and us.
Do I get paid?
Fine. Paid. Your payment is that we don't eliminate you right now. After today, we can talk about payment. Does that sound good to you?
That sounds pretty good to me, buddy.
All right. Now, I think things have really just worked out serendipitously, haven't they? Can somebody go get that kid from downstairs, the idiot? I think Lightfinger, I guess, who was here, goes downstairs to get Chad, aka Metric, and now all 3 of you are in the same room together in the office, and Lightfinger says, "You 3. I'm sorry, Rusty. Could you? I have. This is that errand I was talking about earlier. That I need something from you to show that you are actually, up to it. Is that acceptable?"
Well, Mr. Snake Eyes, I've been a part of this organization for over 18 years now. But if you need me to do one thing to set your mind at ease, I suppose I'll do it. What is it that you need us to do?
Very happy to hear that. You 3, I want you to head to the safe house on Lone Mountain Road. and pick up a package from Rod. Bring it back here. Rusty, you know what I'm talking about, the safe house.
Well, I suppose I know what you're talking about.
And
What's in the package, if you don't mind me asking? Anything that's gonna explode if we drop it?
No, it is. I'm given to understand that it's fragile, but it should not be dangerous. Now, I do have to. I don't think I have to explain that the reason I'm sending 3 capes to retrieve it is that it may be something worth acquiring. So be on the lookout.
So did you? I guess the guys like noticed me trying to transform, and that's how they know I'm a cape.
Yeah, the guy reacted and noticed you transforming, and
Okay.
and communicated that to the other guys.
Okay, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to clarify.
That's fine. So yeah, you guys are now. It's up to you guys. What are you gonna do, the 3 of you?
I walk up to the cowboy guy, and I go, "Sup, cowboy guy?"
Well, howdy there, partner. My name's Rusty Greer. And who do I have the pleasure of making your acquaintance?
I'm Billy. Why do you talk so weird?
Well, I suppose that's all a matter of perspective, young Billy. To me, to my ears, it's you who sound a bit peculiar.
I like you. And I like clap him on the back.
How's Metric responding to all this?
I'm just kind of, because I'm basically featureless and just standing really still. No one can tell, but I'm kind of internally just glaring at everyone.
What's Billy's costume, by the way? I don't know if we got a description of what you look like.
He's not really wearing a costume. He's got like jeans on. Like they're obviously like store distressed. Like they have holes in them, but it's obviously they were just made that
Bought
way.
that way. Yeah. Okay.
And he's wearing like a dark shirt, and he has a bandana around his neck that he never put over his face because he always forgets to do that before doing his crimes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Rusty also isn't wearing a mask, but he also has a bandana around his neck.
Hey, bandana bros! And I go to give him a high five.
I don't really respond with the high five, but I kind of give him a polite smile.
And then I think I like notice Metric for like the first time, and I'm like, "What's up with this weirdo?"
I kind of glare at him, and then I look at the sphere that's still just kind of floating in the room, and I say, "Hey, Sphere, how many people are named Billy?" Sphere pauses for a second. 290,745 people.
I pull out my cell phone and Google that same thing and be like, "Hey, it's right."
Well,
So I just keep glaring, and I'm like, "So which one are you?
What do you mean?
Where are you on the ladder of Billy's, Billy?"
Fucking nerd, it's weird. Do we have to take him?
I just continue glaring.
well, I don't know anything about this techno mumbo jumbo, but I reckon we best get on with the business at hand.
So
All right, I'll stick with you, Rusty.
Yes, sir. Well, I've got a ride out there. It only really seats 2, unless someone else wants to drive, though.
Shotgun.
Well, I can make my own way.
Well,
All right.
I suppose we can live with that.
All right. So I'm assuming that you guys are gonna head to your cars and get out, get going.
Yeah, on the way out, I whistle, and the border collie goes out from under the pool table and follows.
And your friend Skip kind of gives you a quizzical look. And do you respond any way to that?
I give him a sort of don't worry about it, don't have time to talk right now,
Okay.
hand gesture kind of deal.
Okay. So Billy and Rusty get in the pickup
my
truck
God.
together.
So
and
So my car is a 1976 Ford Bronco pickup truck. It's sky blue. It's not in very good shape. It's got a camper in the back, which has like a sleeping bag. It's the interior. Billy notices smells of like cigarette smoke,
and dog, I imagine,
and dog. There's dog hair.
This is a real piece of shit car, Tex.
Well, I suppose that's again another matter of perspective. This car's been a reliable friend to me for the last 20 years.
20 years? That's older than me.
Well, I believe it.
I don't believe we've actually introduced Billy by name, so that's something we overlooked. So just
I think he introduced
No,
himself.
he said his
you
name.
introduced yourself as Billy.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
the cowboy.
Okay, as Billy. Okay,
Yeah, as
all right.
Billy.
Just getting that clear. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
I turned the engine a few times, and it takes like a few turns, but it does start.
okay.
And then I guess I suggest before we get in the car. Well, Metric, what are you driving?
Well, I have my luxury Lexus around the corner. Figure that will probably work.
Well, of course you do. Well, I'm in this pickup right here, so you can just follow me to the safe house.
So
I
Billy-
reckon it'd be prudent if we exchange phone numbers at this juncture.
Billy is like looking at the truck and then like pondering Lexus and then looking at Metric and then like looking at the truck and seems really torn.
I get out my cell phone, which is for those of you who know me, that one like phone with like the 8-bit display that I had
For like 20 years.
for like 20 years.
Yeah.
That's from like 1992.
Yeah.
And it like doesn't really have texting technology or anything. Right. Now, if you could just start reading me your phone number there, Metric.
Can his phone just like start ringing?
Why don't you roll for that?
All right. Catastrophic.
Okay. Nothing happens.
I pause waiting for something.
Yeah,
to
nothing
happen,
happens,
but
and you stand silently, as you attempt to do something that you probably weren't capable of doing anyway.
And I guess my eyes kind of become blue and smoky
Oh,
as I do
okay.
this.
So
Are
like
you
yeah.
are you okay there, bud?
Look, something. All right, here's my number. I get out a pad from somewhere and just like write my number down.
Well, all right. I'll put this on my sun visor.
I
All right,
reluctantly
well,
get in
let's-
the truck.
Let's get going.
okay. So everyone gets in the car. I assume the dog hops in.
The dog's the dog's up front with us for some reason.
Okay.
Just like in the middle seat. There's older cars had middle seats.
Yeah.
I'm
All
like
right.
Chilling.
I'm like scratching the dog and then like really impatient, like I'm like drumming on my legs and like bored and restless.
Okay.
Well, Billy, why don't I turn on a few tunes to keep us occupied?
Yeah, what you got?
I put in a cassette tape,
The fuck is that?
which starts playing some George Strait, renowned country artist.
Ugh,
All my exes live in Texas,
Jesus. This is the fucking
Which
worst, man.
which I'm sort of badly singing along to. All my exes live in Texas.
Is it too late to go in the Lexus?
Yes.
Luckily for you, Billy, it's only like a 20-minute drive. So you only
Only a
get through
20-minute drive.
you only get through like four or five tracks on the tape.
I'm like desperately trying to start up a
the-
conversation so he'll stop
The tape,
singing.
the tape gets through 3 tracks, and then I take it out and turn it to the other side. And do more play.
But other than the awkward attempts at conversation and sitting through music, it's an uneventful drive. The Lexus stays behind you, doesn't lose you, and you approach where you know the safe house to be. It's a long strip of like low kind of industrial looking buildings, and basically there's like an alleyway opening ahead, and Rusty knows that the door to the safe house is like at the end of that alleyway, and you can't take the car down there, and it's like the only way in, so you're gonna have to park somewhere. So you're gonna have to decide how to proceed from here.
Hey guys, like, should we talk about our powers and stuff?
Well, it ain't really done in the Cape Circle.
Well, but I mean, how do I know? Like, do we got a plan here?
Well, I think coming up with a plan is a fine idea, young Billy. So is there like a parking lot nearby? Is that we need to figure out where to park? Or
Basically, there's no parking lot, but like
it's like street parking.
You get the sense.
Parking.
Yeah, you get the sense if you just parked along the side of the street, it would be fine.
All right, so we both do that, and we're standing at the front of the alley to kind of come up with a game plan.
Okay.
Well, and this is to clarify: the safe house is a high roller safe house, right?
Yeah,
we're not anticipating like the people inside are going to kill us, but we know that someone else is after this thing, so they might like try to take it from us or something.
Correct.
Right. Well, if I'm to understand the situation correctly, what we're about to take is quite valuable. However, another thought has occurred to me, if you will entertain me for a moment.
You talk really slow.
Now, it comes to my attention that if this were actually valuable, he wouldn't have sent me and a couple of, if you don't mind me saying so, folks with the maybe one oar in the water, to retrieve this valuable item.
What?
Now, we must entertain the possibility that we're about to walk into a death trap. I suppose it'd probably be in old Snake Eyes' best interest if we were just out of the picture. So I see we're at a bit of a fork in the road.
So
metaphorically.
Why don't we just like leave?
I'd like sigh as loud as I can. All right, everyone. Look, I have some limited sensing abilities. I think I'm willing to reveal that much. How far away are we from this place?
The door to the place is 35 feet down the alley, and it's and you can see the door from here. So it's like a high-sided alley with like a steel door with one of those slots across the top or not across the top, but across the middle where somebody could like move a bar aside so they could see. And then there's some like red brick building on the sides.
All right, I hold my hands up, sort of like I'm doing something with them, and then I use my power.
Okay, we can describe that now.
So I have like a visor that lets me see kind of X-ray vision.
Okay.
Out to about 60 feet. So I'm using that.
Okay.
I think it has a penalty from it's like basically works out to 30 feet, and then from 30 to 60 feet it might not work quite as well, but it's obstructed by like electronics and stuff like that.
Okay. So you actually let's see, you see sort of like industrial offices, like the back offices of like a factory perhaps. That's kind of how the layout appears to you. In the room beyond the door, actually, first of all, you can like tell that the door is locked, and there's a table in the room, and there's just like one guy sitting in a chair, and then there's a briefcase sitting on the table in front of him, and there's nobody else in the building. It's just this guy and the briefcase and dusty rooms.
What about like surrounding us on all sides? I just kind of do a little circle real quick.
Okay. Let me remind myself of what your power does exactly. I had that. And what is the name of this thing that you're using?
This is the sunken eye pattern.
You actually notice one of the buildings near the edge of your range. There are what may be figures hunkered down behind the edge of the building.
All right, I relay this to my companions here.
Well, if I were to interpret this information, I would come to the conclusion that there is a hostile party laying in wait for us.
I think I agree with that assessment. What is our game plan?
I'd go. Let's just go.
Look, Billy,
What's up?
they'll kill us if we go. They will just straight up. Well, they won't kill me probably. I'm very valuable, but they'll kill you if what I've heard is correct. So you really don't want to go here.
Well, I suppose the polite thing to do would just be to walk up to them and ask them what it is they want.
That seems like a great plan.
What?
Matt, I'm gonna as he says that, I'm gonna go do my form thing.
Okay. All right. So you can you don't need to roll to do that. You just need to be undisturbed for one turn. So since nothing's going on, you can do that and you can describe it.
So I turn into basically an invisible gas. So I'm just gone. Can I talk still in gas form? How does that work?
I think you can very quietly whisper, but it's actually people don't realize this, but they're actually hearing your voice inside their head. They're not hearing it with their ears.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So I do that, and I'm like,
Okay.
all right, guys, I can get me out of here.
We're still kind of by our truck, and so they're on the other side of the alley. You said behind some trash cans or something.
So yeah, I should
Where
describe that
exactly?
better. So when
Also, you guys smell some not good smells. By the way, just by the way, it wasn't me.
So as Chad was panning his head around, if you're at the mouth of the alley, he looked right, and basically behind the entire building, at the extent of his range, he can't even tell if it's one or more people, because his the power diminishes at that range to the extent that he only thinks he sees figures that are hiding there. Yeah, that's the most that he knows at this point.
Right. And this is in the next alley over, basically.
Yeah, that would be a good way of
How
saying
many
it.
do we think?
He's not sure.
Why don't you?
I can go check it out. I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah. I mean, you can roll and then see how well you roll, and then I might tell you how many.
Okay.
Chad.
Billy.
All right, Chad is rolling. Chad rolled a 1.
You think that it might actually be an elephant.
Look, I'm getting some weird readings from my visor here, but
Well, I'm invisible, so I'm just gonna go check it out.
Well,
Wait,
you go and check it out, Billy, and we'll just have a smoke.
all
Right, but you might want to wait till I leave to light that thing.
Are they? If there's someone there, are they going to notice you? Because I can certainly notice you right now.
Wait, how?
Look, don't you worry about it, Billy. You just go and see what's going on over there, and we'll hang tight.
So I'm gonna try to just get close, but not too close.
Okay. So let me think about this.
Well, while he's doing that, I load my double-barreled shotgun with one round of rock salt and one with real shot in it.
Okay. And so Billy, as you approach the edge of the building, you hear a very low conversation and a voice saying, "No, I'm telling you, I sense something. I sense someone approaching." And then like the edge of a white mask actually dips around the corner that you can see clearly, and then the head dips back and you hear them say, "There's no one coming. There's no one coming."
So there's at least two people.
But and then the voice says, "But if you sense something, I guess we should get the hell out of here." And then basically you immediately hear footsteps leading away quickly. But you could probably actually make it around the corner in just a couple seconds because you're close enough at this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. So you see three people fleeing. One of them is in a white armor and cape. You can't really see like their front, so you get very little detail.
Is this anything I recognize from any of the people I've seen so far today?
So no, it's no one you recognize from today, and I don't think you're someone who pays much attention to like the Cape scene.
Nope.
So no, you don't recognize them. And the other two, one of them just has like a black bodysuit with like an eye motif on it, like the eyes. And then the third one is a younger looking person with like a sort of pattern to her. You would guess she's a female, and a pattern that suggests that maybe it's tinkerish, but you really have no idea.
All right.
And they're booking it, and they're going the opposite direction. And if I'm not mistaken, you can't actually run in that form.
No.
So they just kind of get out of sight and turn a corner before you can really do anything.
All right. So I walk back and then coalesce to physical form again.
Okay.
And then I'm like, "Well, guys, I took care of him. I got him."
Well done. Well done, Mr. Billy, sir. Well, I reckon I should go in and pick up that package, and maybe we'll have Metric here have a little look-see inside before we go any further.
Yeah, well, I looked inside a minute ago, and it was just that one guy in the briefcase, so...
Don't get smart, nerd.
I'm talking about the package that we're delivering. I'd like to know what it is we're delivering.
What's inside the... All right, well, let's get a little bit closer before we do anything stupid. So I guess we all walk up to about, like, where the door is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I try and use my visor again to see if I can see inside the package before going inside.
So you can tell there's clearly nothing electronic in it because your power actually, the way it works is you get like obstructive effects when you see electronics or electricity, and you have no such effects. It just seems like some cylinders is all you can really tell. And you would guess that it's some kind of liquid.
Some cylinders. Might be a liquid.
Soda?
Not soda, Billy.
Well, that doesn't sound too dangerous to me.
All right, you take point, Rusty. I think you're the
Is there
you're the pro here.
I mean, since this is a safe house, I'm guessing there's like a password or something. Do I know a password?
You would, yeah, you do, yeah. It's Royal Flush.
I do whatever knock is appropriate.
Okay, so
and then say Royal Flush.
Yeah, so
I laugh a little bit.
So the bar across the viewport slides open, and the guy says, the guy who is supposed to be there, you recognize his voice. He goes, Tex, they said you'd be here, and he opens the door, and he just seems bored, like just nothing going on. Beyond the door is the small room. Clearly what was being described by Metric, with a couple doors leading out of it. The guy, you recognize the guy, and he just kind of he's not even a cape. He's just a guy, and he points at the briefcase, and he's like, "All right, it's yours."
Well, thank you kindly, Rob. Guess we'll be going on our way.
This was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So you take it and you exit
Take the briefcase. I say, Billy, why don't you just take the lead in your gas form and make sure there's no hoodlums waiting for us, and we'll be shortly behind with the merchandise.
All right.
So
And I make a farting noise with I put my hand under my armpit and make a noise as I transform.
Okay. So as you're transforming, it's nighttime still, and suddenly from outside of the mouth of the alley, there's an incredibly bright light that, like car headlights, but 10 times brighter, heading down the street in the direction of the alley at a very high speed. It appears this white light appears at the mouth of the alley before any of you can really react, but then it just sits there for a second, and you have a second to react. What does anyone do?
Have I finished my transformation or not yet?
You're still transforming. Yeah, you're still transforming.
Okay.
Is Billy obstructing my view of the end of the alley?
No, it's a wide enough alley. It's probably a good 15 feet across, actually.
Okay. I guess I can't see. I've still been using my visor at this point.
Okay, so
do I get any information?
You can let's say you can tell that there's not like a person at the center of the thing, and also like the brightness is so bright actually. Okay, so at this point it's so bright that Rusty can't look at it, and you can only look at it because your visor is doing like an automatic compensation thing, and even so you can't like make anything out in the middle of it. Roll wits.
All right, 3.
Okay, you kind of guess that this is a breaker form.
All right.
And okay, so yeah, you still have a couple seconds to do something. Billy's finishing his transformation. He is now a gas.
I guess shut and bolt the door.
Okay.
If it's not already.
I guess.
Okay.
I just say, are we fighting or are we running? What's the plan, guys?
Do
Fight,
I know if there's like another way out of the safe house or anything?
You know that there is a back way. It's another alley similar to this one, but it's like on the other side of the building.
I go, well, boys, there's a secret back escape to this building that I suggest we make for post haste. And I start running toward that.
Do I recognize the power at all, or does anyone recognize the power?
Good question. Rusty recognizes the power as the breaker form of the Protectorate Cape Radiant.
What do I know of Radiant?
You know that she has a breaker form that allows her to turn into a sphere of light, and you've never fought her before. You don't know what the quirks are.
What do I know of her character? Has she been like rounding up criminals for a long time? Does she have a shady side?
She's a fucking hero, man, and we're bad guys. That's all we need to know.
You also happen to know that she wears like a pure white Templar themed armor, so that she gives off a sense of extreme moral rectitude.
So she's a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We need to.
Yeah. So I'm already heading for the back exit. What do I find when I get there?
Well, so the doors. You're opening the door and looking out.
Well, what is the back exit? Is it like it's just a door to the next alley?
It's another steel door, but like no one ever opens this one. It's like bolted heavily with like 2 thick steel bolts. And like they like when they made this a safe house, they basically just sealed up all of the other entrances except this as like the emergency escape.
Okay. Well, I just say, Metric, if you would be so kind as to peer onto the other side of this portal that is currently closed to us.
It's a door.
I look through the door.
Just a procedural question: can you just keep using it over and over, or does it have a cooldown or something?
Not that I am aware
Okay.
of.
All right. So you actually see more clearly because it's close. You see one figure like leaning against the wall of the alley, like looking bored and not at all on guard, and it seems like a young woman. Because you're using your X-ray vision mode, you can't really see what she's wearing, or really anything. You can kind of tell she has some like equipment on her belt, but you can't really make out what it is. And your overall sense is probably that she doesn't expect anyone to come out of this door.
Without consulting anyone or giving any warning, I open the door. I kick open the door basically after unbolting it. And then I hold my shotgun up to this person's face and say, "Put your hands in the air, or I'll blow your fucking face off."
Okay, so the young woman, who's the one wearing kind of a tinker stylized outfit, although metric roll wits.
Matt, is this the one that I chased off earlier?
You recognize her as one of the three.
Okay.
But
I
go ahead.
I roll a 6.
So you notice that this is bullshit, and that there's no tinkeriness to what she's wearing. It's just a motif.
All right.
So it to the degree that you suspect that she wants people to think you're a tinker, that she's a tinker rather.
All right. I don't know how to use that.
Okay.
But
Well, you know,
got it.
And you, Rusty, do not recognize her.
Okay. Does she put her hands up?
She immediately like stumbles back with an expression of genuine fear and puts her hands up. Yes.
All right. I say, yeah. Billy, take her belt.
Wait, what? I'm a cloud of
You're a
smelly
cloud.
glass.
Which one of you is holding the briefcase, by the way?
I am.
Okay.
All right. Metric, take her belt.
I get about how close are we to her?
She's probably like 10 feet away, but it's a gun, so she's still paralyzed.
I also hand him a zip tie and go tie up her hands behind her back.
All right. I look at the zip tie and I say, I've seen this movie. You take off your belt, throw it to me, and put this on your hands. And I throw the zip tie at her.
Okay, and she's like, at this point, like her face is flushed, and she's like, shit. Like she just seems like so like ashamed that this has happened to her, and she starts to do that. She takes off her belt and like, I guess she like tosses it halfway to you, and wait, where are you relative to her?
We're still in the doorway.
Okay, yeah, so she's just standing there with nothing in her hands.
Okay, I'm gonna solve this problem for us. So I walk up to her, Matt.
Okay.
And I'm like, smell me.
And she's like, oh God.
Okay.
What happens? Does she get knocked out or something?
No, I'm gonna. So I have an ability. I can rewrite her memory.
Okay.
Briefly.
Okay.
Holy
So
shit.
I'm just gonna make her forget that she ever saw us.
Okay.
Right.
And
I don't know that this is happening.
No.
and you're aware of like the strict time limits on your power. Just reminding you. Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
It's like, let's see. Yeah, it's like one. So it's either a 1 minute chunk of time,
So roll first, and we'll see how well you do.
Yeah. Well, that's not gonna work. I got a 1.
Okay, that's
Has she zip tied herself?
yeah, she has.
Okay.
So you try to do that, and she's like, what the fuck was that? What did you just do to me? What did you just do to me? Are you in my head? And she's like, she's gone from like embarrassed to like beginning to be kind of like panic afraid, and she also doesn't know that you're there, so she's just kind of confused.
That's exactly what I wanted to do.
I just stride over and like grab her by the collar and like drag her behind us as
I pick up the belt.
as I head toward not the street where the light was coming from, but the other exit, obviously.
Okay, so as this is happening, and because it's nighttime, you actually see over your heads, like the sky over you is now becoming bright, and before you can make it to the end of the alleyway, the radiant white light descends into the alley just ahead of you, which is really like 5 feet away, basically, and she coalesces into the form of a woman in white and strikes out to attack Rusty, because he's the one who's holding the young woman.
As soon as I notice that she's there, I toss my briefcase to Metric behind me, and then I grab the girl like around the neck and hold her in front of me in like a classic hostage with gun to the head pose.
Okay.
And I say, you better turn off them lights right now, Radiant, if you want your friend to get through the evening with her face intact.
Okay. So she, yeah. So I think because she was coming over you and then landing and then transforming, you had plenty of time to do that. And so and she kind of like holds up her attempt to strike you, and then like after a moment of like tension, she sort of like sags as if defeated, and is like, damn it, Hex, how did you let this happen? And
shut up. How many of you are there?
She like grinds her teeth and doesn't answer.
What do you want with the briefcase?
It's what do you want with the briefcase? It's our job to find out what you fuckers are up to.
Well, guess we're all been left in the dark on this one. But I'll tell you what I'll do. Me and my compatriots here are going to back slowly back to our vehicles, minding our own business. And once we are at a safe distance, I will release your friend, and we will pretend that this unpleasantness never occurred. I start backing away, and I go, Billy, go check out the exit behind us.
I do that.
So to be clear, you're going back through the building?
Yeah, if that's the only way back to the cars, then I'm sure what the alley structure is.
Do I see anything coming up behind us in the building?
You to the extent that you can perceive her breaker form, you see her transform into her breaker form and then like go up into the sky, out of your range. But then she doesn't like re-enter your range, so you have no particular awareness of where she is.
All right.
Well, that didn't work, guys.
Well, don't give up hope yet, young Billy. We're making our way back through the building with
Hex, is it?
Hex. Still got my gun to her head. I've told Billy to go ahead, which I think he's done. And Metric is still scanning.
Okay.
I look at the belt a little bit closer just to see what is on it.
Okay, it's got like a kind of like a basic, what you recognize as like a basic Tinker like electric pistol that shoots like stunning shots it's not fancy and isn't very powerful, is like strictly speaking worse than a taser actually, and you have to wonder why someone would even bother with such a thing. And the other stuff is just like like a can of pepper spray and a pair of handcuffs.
So as we're walking through the building, so what's your deal, Hex? This is kind of trash gear you got here.
Obviously I'm not actually a tinker. I'm impressed you figured it out, dipshit.
Well, let's not. We're all friends here in this situation at the present moment. Let's not use such violent words.
I'm not friends with any of y'all. The front looks kind of clear right now, by the way.
Or we are in like the alley, I guess, on our way back to the truck. So are we still unaccosted?
You're still unaccosted. You can tell that Radiant is in the sky, because of the light, but the light source is not moving. So you kind of think she's probably just hovering above the building, like looking down, and that's kind of all you can guess from what's going on right now.
I mean, like, as soon as we give this person up, like, she's gonna come after us.
Well, we're not gonna give her up until we're safe inside the High Roller's abode. I get to the pickup truck, open the door. My dog's still in there. I push Hex into the middle seat as well, so it's going to be a bit crowded, but whatevs.
Okay.
Soon Billy gets in.
Can I, Matt? How does this work? Can I hop into the bed still in gas form? Just chilling there.
Does it have you said it has like a camper over it, right?
There's a camper in the back, yes.
Oh.
So does that mean? I mean, you can get in the back. You could not actually. It would not be a good idea for you to ride in an open pickup truck, because you are not proof against wind shear.
Boo. Okay. I guess I'll go back to human form then.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I never get to do anything fun.
So we're trying to drive away. I don't know what Metric's doing. Presumably he's getting in his car.
Yeah, I walk back to my car, and as I'm walking back, I just kind of say to the air, "Hey, app, go check out Diet Purity up there and tell me what's going on."
Affirmative.
Diet Purity. Good
reference, sir.
Thank you, app.
So nothing visible happens. And I guess you actually can you see what is being seen by the invisible cylinder?
I believe so.
Okay, so yeah, he I don't know, just
app's gender is violence, so
okay,
he'll take anything.
I'm allowing this even though I think the instructions say that he can hover, not necessarily fly. We'll sort that out later. I guess slowly. He ascends slowly.
If we believe in physics, I think is it
Wait, what is he doing?
Force is not. He's hovering up into the sky. To like keep an eye on Radiant, I believe, is the intention. Correct?
Yes.
The cylinder is. Okay. And you're going to your car.
Yes. I'm gonna follow the pickup.
Okay. So you as you get to your car, you guys see coming around the corner of the building the guy in black with the eye motif, like huffing as if he's been sprinting for the last 6 minutes. And I think you're all, I think even the dumbest of you understands that he's probably started running around the other side of the building when Billy approached, and then started running back around the building to ambush you at your exit. And then when Hex gave us a distress signal, probably started running back around the building. And so he turns the corner looking completely winded, and goes, "Stop!" You're all in your cars already.
I floor it.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
You all peel out, and you still have Hex with you. And she's like, "You guys are gonna regret this." And I guess you're heading back through the streets.
Billy is having a great time, by the way.
Okay.
He's like, man, Justin and Eric are going to be so mad they missed this. This is awesome.
So Radiant is you can see in your rearview mirror that Radiant is obviously in the sky following you, but keeping a distance because she can actually travel at like 60 miles an hour. And the cylinder can't actually fly that fast, so he's actually been left behind, which may have been a mistake.
Oh no, it was so useful.
And so are you guys going back the same way you came?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as that's a reasonable
traffic
route. We're just going back like the fastest way, basically. On like main roads, we're not going on any like small roads that could be blocked on the side.
Is the Protectorate aware of where your evil corporate headquarters are? Are we just leading them to the?
Yeah, we've been around a long time.
Okay, so in the road in front of you, like from the top of a roof, jumps a very large armored suit, and crashes into the ground, and it is wide enough actually that you're not sure if you could even drive around it on this 2-lane road, just because it's like long and lanky, and also bulky, which is the opposite of lanky. Let's go with bulky. Metric, maybe you want to take a look at it.
I take a look at it with my power.
Roll wits.
1.
Okay. All you can really tell is that it's really good tinkering, and your ability gives you no insight because it's so like rife with electronics that it just looks like a brilliant blazing electronic signal.
So I see a massive street-sized armored robot. Is that what I'm to understand?
Let's say it's 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide, and you're on like a 2-lane street. So that's the dynamics of what's going on here. Yes.
All right. I brake and do like a U-turn maneuver.
Okay. As you're doing that, something you barely perceive because it's dark, but the area is lit by Radiant, fortunately, who's actually approaching, even though she's trying to keep her distance. A lithe figure drops down from another rooftop on the other side of the street. She's wearing like samurai armor, as far as any of you can tell, and she drops down such that she lands right by your car as you're moving, and she sticks to the side of your sky blue pickup, grabs the door, and effortlessly rips it off and throws it away. And
how many fucking capes are in this town?
I move my shotgun right next to her ear and shoot it, so to deafen her.
Okay, she screams, and then
I punch her in the face.
She's already fallen off and like gone to like a tumbling, rolling impact on the ground. I should have made you roll for that, but that was such a good idea that it just works.
I'm driving like the opposite direction of the robot now, and like trying to find the next like reasonable like side street that I know of that will get me around.
Yeah, and I'm following him, so I guess I need to like dodge this person that's tumbling towards me.
Yeah,
or not.
No, I try to dodge at least.
Okay. So yeah, you know, Rusty knows the town well enough that he's actually able to just route around this. You do see Metric, since you're the rearmost car. You see the armored suit like fire after, you know, like thrusters from its back and take off, but it doesn't seem extremely aerobatic or fast, but it does like leave the road and is out of sight again. So you guys actually you're getting closer to the High Rollers HQ, and Hex is like, okay, so this has been fun, guys. Are you just gonna take me inside and are we gonna have a billiards tournament? What's going on here?
Oh, well, I didn't know you played billiards, Hex.
Oh my god.
I'd love to have a game of billiards with you.
Can you just let me go now?
That's a bad idea, cowboy.
Well, you just be patient, Hex. We'll be letting you go. I'm a man of my word. But I kind of get the feeling that your friends haven't keeping true to theirs. And that displeases me greatly. Are we, like, at the headquarters?
I'm going to make you roll one time. So just roll and tell me what you roll.
Just roll. 2.
Okay, as you as you pull into the parking lot, you inexplicably like clip the curb in a jarring way that doesn't damage your car, but you're surprised that it happened because you've been driving cars for,
Okay.
many years. And,
Yep.
Nothing beyond that happens though.
Okay.
You're now in the parking lot and
I open the door, grab Hex by the neck, and
you don't have a door anymore.
Oh, I don't have a door. Oh, yeah, I got ripped off. I'm not happy about that. But I grab Hex and jump out back over to the door and knock on it and say whatever the password is, if there's a password.
Okay.
This particular, or is this just like
this is just the pool hall? Yeah.
All right. Once my 2 friends are inside, then I cut her. Well, I don't even cut her ties. I just like push her away.
Okay.
And tell her, well, it's been mighty fine meeting you, Hex. Hopefully we'll never meet again. Have a wonderful evening. I'll take you up. Maybe I'll take you up on that billiards tournament sometime.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. Thanks, fellas. It's been a lovely evening. And then she just like storms off into the night. And so I guess you probably just want to go upstairs and bring the briefcase.
Yep.
I'm like looking around like, did we just win?
Well, young Billy, in life there's no winners and losers. It's better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, I'm not too sure myself, but it's something my old pappy used to say. Shall we go and deliver this here luggage to our beloved boss?
Okay, but the good guys are just gonna go away now?
They wouldn't dare attack us here.
Well, they never go away entirely. It's sort of the yin and yang of our paranormal world, young Billy. Young Billy, we're in constant struggle with the self-proclaimed heroes, but we sort of have an understanding.
I shake my head and I'm like, man, I fucking love Vegas.
Lightfingers is like coming down the stairs and he's like, oh shit. Hey guys. Back already?
Well, as a matter of fact, we are Lightfingers. Snake Eyes still available?
He is. He was actually just about to head out for the evening, but yeah, he's still up there.
Well, I suppose we'll just pay him a little visit.
All right. Come on.
Can I figure out how far away App is right now?
He's moving back at like a running pace, so probably like 5 miles.
All right.
We enter the Snake Eyes
okay.
room,
and he's like, wow, amazing performance, everyone. May I see the package? Thank you.
There you are, sir.
Yeah,
as promised.
And
I don't believe it's been damaged in the transit, although we did run into a bit of a kerfuffle along the way.
Oh, I would be very interested to hear about that.
Well, it ain't too exciting, really.
We kicked their ass.
Well, that's maybe the condensed version of it. We ran into Radiant and her little group of compatriots.
Rusty recognized the other cape who wasn't Hex as Double Jeopardy.
And Double Jeopardy.
Okay.
Not my two favorite people to run into on a pleasant afternoon.
So a little bit of Protectorate detention. Well, if that's all that happened, then that's a relief, frankly. It's just the Protectorate.
Oh, you were worried about someone else, sir.
Well, yeah, it's been chaotic times lately. Who knows? Who knows who could be hanging around, you know?
Where are my buddies?
They are out back in the shed cleaning dishes.
Classic Eric.
They seem very docile, actually. I was surprised.
Yeah, don't worry about it. They're just good dudes.
I'm sure they are. Nothing else to tell me about?
Well, are you looking to hear something in particular, sir?
No. This is great. Thank you for delivering the package.
Well,
and he puts in a code like a normal Tumblr lock code and opens it, and he's like, yeah, that's it. Okay.
Well, glad we could be of service. I do hope that this lends some credibility to myself and our new friends here.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yes. I dare say I'll have some work for you later on this week, probably. Just
do we get to not die now?
Yes, Billy.
Would you like to buy some spheres?
No, but we can discuss a monetary arrangement that you may find acceptable, or another more complex arrangement. I understand that you're after something perhaps a bit harder to wrangle than mere cash, and we have our way of making things happen. You understand, we have a lot of resources at our disposal, Metric. So I do hope that you'll make your engagement with us a long-term endeavor. I am impressed at your performance, you three. So yes, that's great. I will be calling you. I'll be calling all three of you.
Well, you know where to find me. Come along, my new friends. Shall we partake in a drink together at the bar?
Fuck yeah.
I suppose. I've heard promises before, Snake Eyes. I've had a lot of promises before.
Well, you've never worked with capes of our magnitude, I assure you of that.
Indeed. I guess we go downstairs now.
There's no more adventure, so if you want to have a conversation at the bar, that's fine.
I want to go find my dudes and see what my dudes are doing.
All right, so I guess you like the most obvious route, I guess, would be like through the kitchen.
Okay, I do that.
Okay, they're like in the back of the kitchen doing dishes.
Justin, Eric, come on.
Hey man, you look a little what's up, man?
You missed the craziest fight. I did so much in it too. It was like all me. All of it.
That's cool, man. Why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us the story, man? I can't wait to hear.
Later. Let's go get a drink.
All right, man. That sounds great. Do they serve underage people at this bar?
Fuck.
Yeah. It's like it's a crime bar.
I'm sorry, you don't have proper ID. I cannot give you a drink.
I go when they get back. I'm already at the bar with Metric, and I go whiskey neat for myself and some piss water from a friend here. You like the you were drinking PBR earlier, right?
Yeah. Yes. Could I also have a straw, please?
We'll have what he's having at Tex.
And the bartender kind of like looks at you skeptically, but like has picked up the context that you're Cape, so he's just like whatever, and he pours you all whiskey neats, which presumably you have no idea what to do with.
I take a sip of it, and it's the grossest thing ever. But I do that thing where I'm like trying really hard not to make a face, but also make a disgusted face.
Okay.
I tell the bartender to put it on my tab.
Yeah.
I awkwardly try and drink my PBR through the eye hole of my mask with the straw.
Which one of you is sitting like leftmost along the bar?
I guess me.
Okay. You're like weirdly have a sense that there's something super annoying happening over your left shoulder.
I look around,
and you see a guy in a canary yellow suit with a smiley face mask sitting next to you, but like despite the fact that he's wearing a smiley face mask, his posture is just like completely sunken in on itself and defeated, and he's been here. I think you probably noticed when you were coming in that he was here, so he's been here for a while.
I like sit up in my chair and try to like make myself look older than I am, and be like, "The fuck do you want?"
He just like looks over at you like, "Oh, are you talking to me?"
Yeah.
Oh yes. Hello. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Thank you for talking to me.
Do I know who this is?
Yeah, this is Lickspittle.
What's the deal with Lickspittle?
He works for the gang. He just has a stranger power that makes you like really, really not want to interact with him and find him super annoying and like get him out of your sight, basically.
And I go, Justin, trade seats with me.
And Justin does that and then just like looks really annoyed, but also confused at the same time. And Lickspittle, like you basically just ended the conversation without responding to him. So just like he just kind of like sinks in on himself again and continues
Poor
drinking.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
The miserable power.
Well, friends, let us make a toast to victories over the so-called forces of good and new friends.
I can't believe they just like let us go.
Well, young Billy, the thing you must learn about heroes is that they're not willing to let any of their, really anyone get hurt, ever. So you can never really be too afraid of them.
I like it.
Don't know if I agree with that, Rusty, but guess I can drink to that.
Clink.